All right, everybody, I'm going to do something a little bit different this time because what I want to talk about is important. And hopefully, this different medium will reach more people. As our society deals with another black man being murdered by another group of white cops, um, I know a lot of us, many of us, a lot of the country has been reflecting on the issues at hand and what they can do. And like you, I am no different. I've spent a considerable amount of time evaluating myself, holding myself accountable, and looking for ways that I can do better in the future and ways that I can utilize Bikes or Death as a way to improve the landscape in the cycling world and in the outdoors. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about where I've landed or where I'm at right now. I think I have a lot to learn. Is one thing that I've definitely it has been made plainly obvious to me. A friend told me that he hates the argument that just because you're white, you can't understand or you can't uh, think of a way to do better or to improve. It's just a cop out. In an effort to not cop out and to add my voice to this conversation, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I would like to do with the platform and what Bikes or Death is going to do, and share a little bit about my personal story as I've reflected over these issues this past week. I think the biggest thing that I've come to realize is that being a non racist is not enough. It's not okay to just be a non racist and not say anything. It is time to be an anti racist. And I acknowledge that there are many things that I might get wrong, but I cannot let the fear of saying the wrong thing prevent me from doing the right thing. And to whatever degree I'm able to, I'd like to add my voice to this conversation. So, how can Bikes or Death help? Obviously, there is a platform for discussion. And if you've been following along, you will know that I advocate for equality. I advocate for women in the outdoors. It's easy to find women, they're everywhere to talk to and see just amazing examples all over. But let's be honest about the fact that there is a real shortage of people of color, specifically black people, in cycling and in the outdoors. That's not okay. I have already reached out to some members of our community that are black and trying to arrange for some interviews. I'd invite the community to help me connect with other people who want to be a part of this conversation. I'm not asking for people to speak for all people of color, but I think sharing those stories, sharing their stories, will help to connect to a broader audience. And by broader, I mean black people. How can we get the message to black people that this is a safe space, that they can come, they can hang out, they can ride their bikes, and they can go outside and we can all have a great time? I would like to, the extent that I'm able, engage in those types of conversations and make that a part of the mission statement for Bikes or Death, to advocate for that, to inspire people of color to get outside and to feel safe and learn about how we can bridge that gap between the outdoors, bikes, and our black friends. The other thing that Bikes or Death is going to be doing is I just established a partnership with Bikepacking Roots and their new BIPOC, which is Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Adventure Grant Program. And they've already raised like $20,000 or something crazy like that in just less than a week, which is truly amazing. What Bikes or Death is going to do is I've proposed to them a 1% for that program. So 1% of all my proceeds is going to go to that program. My hope is that through these two ways, by having conversations, by learning, by listening, by talking and discussing, we can break down some of those barriers. But what about the financial barrier? For me, what Bikepacking Roots is doing is so vitally important, because it's one thing to get people excited, but let's create a financial bridge to help them get into the outdoors, whether that's bikes or I trust Bikepacking Roots to run that very responsibly. And so it makes sense to support that. And that's for perpetuity. That is not for Black History Month or whatever. This is going to be a mission for Bikes for Death going forward. It's time that everybody that can, myself included, adds their voice to the discussion and shines light on racism or inequality wherever it stands, wherever it hides, so that it can't hide any longer. And I might just be a white guy. I know, not the right guy to maybe leading these conversations or having these conversations. But again, I'm not going to let that stop me from championing a cause that I do believe in. I know that these conversations might be difficult. Certainly, I've wrestled with my own biases and my own background and my own understanding of how I fit in as a person in this society. Am I contributing to the problem? Am I helping it not be a problem anymore? So I've seen it. And I guess this is where I say that this is where I am. I don't have all the answers. I just don't have all the answers. I don't know the right way to go. But I'm done hiding behind what can I do as a white person. I'm not hiding behind that anymore. I'm asking you as a community to help me connect with people that want to share their stories so that we can highlight people of color in this sport that we love and in the outdoors. And while it may be topical right now, I can tell you that in private conversations, I've had many conversations about the lack of people of color in cycling, specifically Black people. And I think what I always say is, I don't know what to do about it. And maybe I'm still saying the same thing, but I'm trying to be more honest about what I do know, about who I am, about what I can contribute. Anyway, thank you for listening. This is an important topic, and I wanted to treat it with the reverence that it deserves. And again, as a community, I am asking you to help me connect with people that want to share their stories so that we can inspire other people to participate. And in our own small way, let's help move the needle in this sector that we love, in the outdoors. It's embarrassing that it is so freaking white. So let's change that. Let's bring some color in here, okay? Thanks, everybody.